just a basic drawing exercise. And I learned this when I was in college. I was very, very thankful to Professor Martin. Hi, I'm Professor Martin, if you're watching this, because she was the one who introduced me to this. Now, this is something that I should have learned when I was in middle school, but I learned it in college. I really went through a curve trying to become an art student because I thought I was good, and then I got into college and I realized I'm like years behind everybody. Really becoming a teacher is what made me good at art, and I will always say that. First one that we're going to do, we're going to divide up the very first rectangle into 8 different squares. So how do I do this? I divide the first one up in half, divide it in half again, and then I divide those into half. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. The first one, this is going to be your very, very dark value. This is where your shadows, everything else lie. And yeah, I'm probably going to fast forward a lot of this because, yeah, you don't need to hear it. My next square, I want it to be just a little bit lighter than the square before it. And then I'm just slowly going to get lighter and lighter. Until I get to my very last square. Which, because I'm not a film person, I don't know what I'm doing. The video and everything is kind of getting in my way. I have to kind of move things around, and I hope you all can still see things. And you can tell I kind of goofed up. I now have one that's almost exactly the same in value, so I got to come back and darken things a little bit. It's always easier to make things a little bit darker than to make them lighter. Now my last remaining square should be blank. And I'm hoping that this is being actually caught by the other film. Now my next one, time out. Underneath here, I want to put 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This actually corresponds to actual drawing pencils and how soft or hard the lead is. Most of your pencils are just number 2 pencils. And by the way, kiddos, do not do this with a mechanical pencil. You will get scratchy lines throughout all of it, and it will drive you crazy. Some people do master shading with mechanical pencils. They are few and far between. It is much easier to shade when you use a regular number 2 pencil. So keep that in mind. These actually correspond to actual drawing pencils. When you have pencils that are an 8B, which means the lead is really, really soft in them, and you're going to get a darker stroke. And then you have some that are my mom's favorite, a 2H, which is, it's hard. It's going to give you a lighter stroke, but it's going to leave a mark in your paper. My mom's a math person, so she loves using them for math because they give her a really precise edge. They don't work well with drawing, or at least not in my experience. The next drawing value scale that we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing that we just did, but we're not going to divide it up into 8 through 1. Now, what I do in my classroom, when I divide this up into 8 and 1, this way when I'm going around the room and I have a kid that gives me a drawing that is all one value, I'm going to say, no, you need some more 8s, or maybe you need some more 1s, or, I can tell them, and they, hopefully if they paid attention to me at all, they kind of get what I'm talking about, and they go, oh, I need more dark values, I need more light values, I need some highlight. And it helps with our conversation and making the work go well. The next technique is actually just going from dark to light, naturally. And this is how you would draw. You wouldn't divide your paper up. So you're just going to start dark. And you're slowly going to get lighter. Takes a few minutes to do. I don't make my students do this exactly in the lines because they're learning. Most of the time I'm teaching anywhere from junior high students clear up to high school students. I have a few of my friends that are adults that have come and taken lessons from me, which is always fun. That we do a little bit more advanced stuff like clay building and painting. We will get there, but for younger kids, I start at the very basics. The next one, which is where you're going to need the wonderful shading tool. You're going to do the same thing that we just did, and this is a more dominant way when you're drawing, how you get your values in shading. You start dark, you go light, you always go back in. You can always make things darker. And then you take the shading tool and you just blend. You get all those scratchy lines out. You make it look more natural. I love shading tools. They are literally, these and kneaded erasers and Prismacolor pencils are the supplies that I would tell every artist they need to have. So that's just my opinion. I know other artists who would vastly disagree with me. But this is my opinion, and it's my channel, so you get to hear my opinion. The last technique, I don't ever really use unless I'm really wanting a major contrast. Sometimes I'll use it if I'm doing a tree or I'm drawing fabric. I don't use it. It's not a great technique, but it is there. You just basically do your dark area. I don't really think about the only time I use this is if I'm drawing fabric or trees. So I do my dark area, and I want a major jump in value. So I use my shading tool, and I pull that out. I only do this if I'm trying to create drama, but I do this as an exercise in my classroom with my students. So if I'm starting at the beginning, I'm starting at the beginning. And this is lesson number 1. I did show this demo to my students, and then they get to draw it 5 times for practice. So guess what? Your turn. You get to draw it 5 times for practice. And remember, practice makes perfect. Art is just like any muscle of your body. The more you do it, the better you become. And thank you for joining me at Miss Batu Productions.